All right. Do you ever feel alone as a fundraiser? Like you're wandering in the dark and you just wish that someone would take your hand and lead you? All right. I know that feeling. When I got started in fundraising, I was fortunate to have access to great training. I went to professional seminars led by the best fundraising coaches. But still, when I got back to my office and back in the trenches, doubt crept in. Maybe you've been there. You've gone to this great training, a seminar, a conference, and you're taking notes and you're just stoked. You can't wait to get back to your office and get to work, right? Like you've been there before. And then you get back to work and you open your computer and you're so frustrated because you feel like you should know where to start. Like, what happened to that enthusiasm you had just a few days ago? And you wish that conference speaker that you just saw a few days ago, you wish that conference speaker were there in your office working with you. Then I had an amazing opportunity. All right. This organization I worked with that I got started with in fundraising, they hired one of these coaches leading these seminars to come spend a few days with us in our office. I got to spend time with Gerald Panis in my office and then a few more days driving him around to meet with donors. Jerry became a mentor to me, and that meant so much to my career because Jerry was the best fundraising coach of his time, hands down. He was a legend. All right. Sadly, Jerry passed away this past year. But here's the thing, I want to be the Jerry Panis of my generation. That's why I treasure so much this letter that Jerry once wrote to a university president on my behalf, where he said, speaking of me, he said, he knows how to manage people. He works effectively with volunteers and board members. He knows every aspect of fundraising and operating a development office. And best of all, he loves asking for gifts. He's a star. Jerry, thank you so much. Right? I look back at the time Jerry spent with me in my office and can now see how important it was. I have used the tools and tricks he taught me during those seminars and those trainings and those times together in my office to raise millions of dollars. For 10 years now, I've been doing the same thing for other organizations, going in and spending a day or two at a time leading strategic fundraising workshops. Organizations have gone on to raise, in some cases, tens of millions of dollars on the foundation of things we talked about over 1 or 2 or 3 days. All right, I want you to have the same experience. Imagine what we could accomplish working together in your office, not theoretically talking about donors, but talking about your specific donors. We can dig in and figure out your challenges, your strengths, and devise a custom plan to help you spend your limited time and your limited resources in the most effective way possible. So right now, I am making available a limited time offer on my strategic fundraising workshops. Normally, a one-day workshop is $2,000 or more, but I am offering them at half off. You can bring me into your organization for just $1,000. All right, this is more than half off the normal price, and I expect my schedule to fill up. So if you're interested, you should act fast. You can get all the details on booking your workshop here on this page. Just scroll down. Maybe you're thinking, does this really work? All right. One vice president for development, Stephen Sutton, brought me in several years ago to lead a workshop for his team. He later wrote, Clark Van Deventer is the Zen master of major donor relationships. Clark is an expert in the art of major donor cultivation and stewardship techniques and how to train junior and experienced staff how to prioritize their limited time. Clark's training and consulting is the most cost-effective investment we have made in the past 4 years and is chiefly responsible for our significant major donor fundraising success. His training and mentorship of our development department has resulted in greater than 20% increases in major donor giving in each of the past 4 years. All right, you can get these results too, but don't wait. My schedule will fill up and you will miss out. All right, plus one more thing. If you book now, I'm including a development assessment consultation and a development assessment report. This package usually costs $500. I'm throwing it in for free when you book your strategic fundraising workshop now. Okay, so these development assessments. This is you and me spending a few hours together. I'm going to spend 1 hour with you on the phone or a video conference, and this is you and me, us working together. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. So you're going to tell me about your situation, your donors, where you're struggling, what questions you have. We're going to talk about your specifics. Then I'm going to prepare a report for you, a development assessment report. I'll tell you what I think you're doing well, and I'll tell you where you're missing, all right? I'm going to be that friend who can say to you, hey, here's what you're missing. The report will be something that you can give to your boss or your board, something you can use to convince them to come with you on this journey, to support you, to give you the tools and resources that you need, and for them to have the confidence that you've got this, right? That you are actively working to identify what needs to happen to move your organization forward and creating an actionable plan, all right? Normally, these development assessment consultations and reports cost $500. I'm throwing it in for free when you book your strategic fundraising workshop, all right? That time we spend together before I'm on the ground with you at your office is going to help us hit the ground running. So to recap, here's what you're getting. You're getting the development assessment consultation and the development assessment report. That's a $500 value. A 1-day in-person training, which is normally $2,000. So combined, this is $2,500 of tailored fundraising analysis and direct in-person coaching with you and your team for only $1,000. All right. Now, the fact that you're here and that you're watching this video says something about you. You take your work seriously. You are on board with this whole idea of excellence, of seeking excellence in your work. But the problem will be that even though you're theoretically on board with that, you're just going to be totally missing the mark in some area, right? Like you know it, and you're not able to see it, right? This happens to us all the time. It happens to me, all right? I'm having trouble with something, and I feel like I'm doing everything right, but it's not working. And then I have lunch with a friend, and this friend, I tell them my problem, and they're like, Clark, can't you see it? Here's your problem. Here's what you need to do. And I'm like, wow, that's so obvious. How did I not see that? But we can't see it. It takes another set of eyes, a fresh perspective, a trusted advisor. I want to be that set of eyes for you. So click below and book your strategic fundraising workshop today.